All right. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on LearnBiz, the podcast. I am Sandy B, one half
All
of this
right.
podcast.
Welcome, everybody.
And I am Lisa K. Crawford, the other half. And again, welcome. We're so glad you could join us. And we do have a special guest. Mr. Julius Adeyiga will be here with us momentarily to give some tax tips to individuals, entrepreneurs, and small businesses.
All right. I hear like a echo, so I don't know if you have. Lisa, do you have something on that's playing the YouTube?
No, I do not. Let me make sure. Let me make sure.
Got to double check YouTube is not on.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, but I'm hearing us in double.
Let me make sure there's nothing in my background. I don't see anything else in my background, I don't think. I hear the music though.
Hold on, let me pull my. All right, are you still hearing in double?
No, I'm not. I can hear you just fine.
Awesome, great. All right, so we're going to go ahead and bring on Julius because we're going to make this short and sweet. We're talking accounting tips for entrepreneurs, and I'm hearing myself double again. Hold on.
Well, guys, these things do happen from time to time. We do have technical difficulties, but while Sandy is away, oh, she's back. I was getting
Sorry,
ready
guys. We got a struggle stream right now. This is ridiculous. Go ahead.
I just was going to go ahead and introduce our new coffee cup, the Entrepreneur Mindset. So this is one of our versions out there. So guys, stay tuned because we'll have some promo materials for you here shortly.
This is what I get when I think I got everything in the backdrop set and I got another tab open. You know, these darn tabs, they just kill us every time.
They do.
But thank you guys so much for joining us on LearnBiz, the podcast. This is going to be a short and sweet session with our CPA, Julius Adeyiga. And we're going to follow this up with another guest for a regular episode at 6:30. So we're going to go ahead and pull up Julius. Thank you so much, Julius, for joining us tonight on LearnBiz, the podcast.
Hi, Julius.
I'm doing fine. How are you, Lisa? How is Sandy?
Hi, thank you for coming on. We appreciate you for taking the time out. I know that you came on one of our episodes earlier last season, our first season, but we wanted to touch base with you again, Julius. So can you, before we get into the three major things we're going to talk about for tax tips, Julius, can you tell us just a little bit about you and your company?
Well, I am a CPA and I started my business from 25 years ago. So we specialize in taxes, accounting for small businesses, non-profit, and other individuals also.
Nice.
Thank you so much. And so, since it is tax season, and first of all, I know businesses, entrepreneurs, we're going to be hit with the first step for tax season. So we're definitely going to talk about that first, and then we can talk a little bit about individuals. But I know that with entrepreneurs, we have some different timetables. So the first thing I say is tax season is here. This is the time when both corporations and individuals should meet their tax obligations. So, as a CPA, what would you tell business owners first who are listening about this tax season?
Okay. First of all, when it comes to taxes, it's all about compliance. Compliance. All tax filings are time sensitive, and failure to file in a timely manner usually carry heavy penalty. Now, for corporation and small business out there, for C corporation, the due date for to file their tax return is April 15. That's for C corporation. For S corporation, the due date is March 15. For partnership, the due date is also March 15. For information returns, such as those who file 1099 for independent contractors, they have to file those returns by March 31st. Then non-profit organizations, they have to file their returns by the 15th of the 5th month following the end of their fiscal year. For example, an organization with a calendar year must file their return by May 15 following the end of the year. The individual this time around is going to be April 18. So non-complying with those timing can carry a very heavy penalty.
That's
Okay,
very
so
interesting.
go ahead, Lisa. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, I did not realize there were so many different tax filing deadlines.
Yes, there are many. Just talking about those that I do annually. If you're talking about those that I do quarterly, the list go on and on and on.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's something.
So my apologies. I got a message about some issue that we're having. Okay, so for taxpayers, so we talked about the different tax filing deadlines. Individuals have a time frame. If you're a entrepreneur or small business owner, there are different deadlines based upon the type of structure that you have. So I
Exactly.
would say it's very important for any business owners to make sure that they consult with a CPA to verify what those timelines are, because it's not the same as what it is for us as individuals. So if a taxpayer is unable to meet that deadline, what should they do?
Well, we all know that things do happen. Okay, in a situation where small businesses cannot meet those deadlines, they can file automatic extension for another for 6 months from the due date. So, however, it is very important to know that extension to file is not an extension to pay. Okay, so from that standpoint, if the entrepreneur know that, okay, I will be owing money, it's very important that if they cannot pay all the money they owe, at least they should pay something with the extension in order to minimize the interest they're going to pay down the road when the return is filed.
That's
And you know
very
what,
good.
Julia? I have fallen into this situation because when I first really got into business, I didn't understand that there were so many different deadlines. And I also didn't understand that just because I filled in that little extension, that I would be facing a lot of penalties and interest if
Yep,
I owed taxes.
exactly.
And sometimes, even if you don't owe taxes, you're still going to be taxed with the penalties and interest if you're a business owner because you were supposed to file those taxes at a certain time frame. I
You're
didn't
very
know
right.
that that was an issue too.
You're very right. Yeah.
Okay, so what type of tax return should be filed by different taxpayers? Let's start with the businesses and then move to individual.
Okay. For C corporation must file Form 1120. Of course, C corporation pay the taxes on its own.
Wait,
They are
Julius, what kind of corporation did you call that?
C as in cat.
C
C
corporation.
corporation.
Okay. All right.
That's regular
Okay.
corporation.
All right.
Okay. They should file 1120. And C corporation pay its own profit. That is, the profit or the losses does not roll over to the owner. Now, S corporation must file 1120S. S as in Sam. Unlike C corporation, S corporation must give its shareholders or not its owners from K1, which they will use when they are filing the individual tax return.
Is
Now,
that for profit and loss? The K1 is for profit and loss, right?
The K1 really is the one that show the how the profit was appropriated among the shareholders, among the owners. Okay. So to show the distribution of income, the deduction, and so on. So now with partnership must file Form 1065. Like S corporation, partnership must give its partners from K1 that show the pro rata share of their own profit so that they can use it in their individual. Of course, non-profit is just what it is. Non-profit doesn't pay taxes, but the kind of form they file, they must file from 990. And I said earlier that from 990 must be filed by the 15th of the 5th month following their fiscal year end.
Okay, great. So one thing I want to note, Julius, in these three things that you mentioned. So we talked about when it comes to tax time, there are different deadlines and obligations depending on whether you're a business owner versus an individual.
Yeah.
There are different types of deadlines depending on, as a business owner, what type of structure you have, because that's what determines the tax level, right? You can fill in an extension form to get those taxes done,
Yes.
but you still will be responsible for penalties, interest, and the actual tax liability. So you may be causing yourself to have a really big tax bill by doing that extension. So you got to keep that in mind.
Mhm.
And then you mentioned that there are different returns for different types of taxpayers, right? Just
Yes.
because I own a business doesn't mean that I'm going to be filing the same type of form. There's a different form depending on my business structure.
Yes.
So, Julius, what tips do you have for folks to just, figure out how to work with an accountant, or, where they should look to find someone who's certified as a public accountant?
It's a great question.
Yeah, that's a very good question. There, first of all, I have to promote myself. My office, my office in Pembroke Pines. Okay, it's at the corner of Palm Avenue and Pines Boulevard. The address is 10031 Pines Boulevard, Suite 246. The telephone is 954-342-5877. And for more information about our services, they can go on our website, which is sbircurpsbackup.com.
Thank you so much, Julius. We definitely appreciate you for taking this brief
Yes.
moment just to talk to us about taxes. Lisa, any last comments with Julius?
Well, what I was thinking, how does the IRS calculate penalties? How do they determine the percentage? Can you give us a little bit more background on that part?
Well, it's kind of tricky in the sense that, let's say the interest accrued today. Tomorrow, the interest that accrued today is going to accrue another interest. Following me? By the day after tomorrow, the interest that accrued today and yesterday will accrue another interest. So there's no before you that is why when you pay interest, that is one of the killers there, because you keep on paying interest on accrued interest, it keep on accruing. Now to answer the question, when we do it, we CPA cannot correctly or fairly determine the amount of the interest. It's when they get to the IRS now, at the time it hit their system compared to when it is due, it is then they will calculate the interest and compound it. So I'm sorry, it's just difficult for us to calculate that interest on our own.
That sounds very scary and bureaucratic.
Oh yeah, it is. It is. Believe me.
Look, I've experienced it firsthand, and trust me, that interest is worse than anything else that you can deal with the IRS. That penalty, that interest, it's astronomical.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
Julius,
that's
I
true.
do have one more question. I'm sorry. If someone needs help because they haven't filed their taxes in so long, do
Mhm.
you help people like get those kind of taxes together, and can they get payment plans to get all those things worked out over the years?
Yes, we do. We can help them to do that. And one thing is, IRS is not really, they're not really a bad guy, okay? But it is taxpayer that think they can so smart they can outplay IRS. IRS will work with you. They will work with you, but you have to work with them. So if you owe in taxes and we go to them, we put a plan in place. It's very, very important that you comply with the plan. It's when you don't comply with the plan, that is when the problem is. They are not going to run after you as long as the plan is in place and you stick to the plan. Yeah,
Okay.
we can help them to put a plan in place.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
Well, we thank you so much, Julius, for coming on to LearnBiz, the podcast. We love to highlight Black entrepreneurs and share information on their journey. It helps us grow. It also helps other entrepreneurs grow in their journey and
Yes,
learn
I
some
do.
things that, may make their experience better. And tonight we just wanted to talk about some accounting tips since it is tax season. So if you missed this episode, you can catch the replay. If you have any questions, Julius is definitely a resource. So you can reach Julius A. Adeyiga. He has his phone number here on the screen, 954-342-5877. And you can always go to his website, www.sbircorp.com. Thank you so much again, Julius. We look forward to having you again, just maybe for a
Anytime.
brief appearance. And
Anytime.
we appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Julius.
Anytime. Anytime. Bye.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.
Okay.
All right. Well, that was great, Lisa. I am so
Really
glad that
good.
we were able to get some tax tips. Any last comments, Lisa, on this tax issue?
The only thing I know is I need to go to tax school apparently so I can understand. It's a lot of layers to taxes and deadlines and figuring out where you fit in. And if you don't know it personally, you better get an accountant or someone like Julius in your life, because they definitely can help with those timetables.
Yes, indeed. And I'm going to ask Julius to stay in the backstage right there. We're going to come to you right now. Again, if you have questions, I'm going to make sure I put his number back up on the screen. It is tax season. Today is February the 15th. So it is way past time for you to get your papers together. If you are a business owner, some of those deadlines are coming up next month, the 15th of March. Other deadlines are in April. If you're an individual taxpayer, you need to know that, it's time to start getting those documents together and organizing those 1099s and W-2s,
Sure.
and trying to get the best deal for your bargain. But we appreciate you again. LearnBiz, the podcast. Please click the notification bell, subscribe to our channel. We love hearing feedback from you. And Lisa, show them what we have in store for them. You got something on you, and
Wait.
you
Oh,
got something
yeah.
that's going to be in your hands.
Well, for there, did I show that already? I'm very proud of
LearnBiz, the entrepreneur mindset mug is
that.
ready.
We have
So if you
that,
want one of these,
and
the entrepreneur mindset t-shirt.
ta-da!
So please know that we have an entrepreneur mindset summit that's going to be coming up. We hope to have a series of speakers to talk about all kinds of business issues. And we look forward to having you as a part of this summit. So if you are a business owner, if you are an aspiring business owner, if you've thought about it, but you were never really sure and you just want to learn the information in advance, please definitely subscribe to our channel. Click the notification bell so you'll know when we're live. We have shifted to live stream, guys. So, our first season was fully pre-recorded. The beginning of this second season, we started with some pre-recorded, and we're like, we're going to do some live stream. So please, please, please support our channel.
Please.
Thank you, guys. I hope you have a great night, and I'm going to go ahead and click us off. Thank you guys so much.